Did Jet just die? You know, it was really unclear.
Welcome to WatchMojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 surprising facts about Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Where is my mother?
For this list, we're looking at interesting trivia regarding the production and impact of this animated series. In case you haven't seen Avatar before, a spoiler alert is in order. Are there any fun facts we missed? Let us know in the comments. Number 10, it set a Netflix record.
Will you go penguin sledding with me?
Even 15 years after premiering, Avatar is demonstrating no signs of fading into obscurity. If anything, its fan base is only growing, and the show's presence on Netflix is proof. In May 2020, the series returned to the streaming service in the United States.
Aang, how long were you in that iceberg? I don't know, a few days maybe? I think it was more like 100 years.
Although it wasn't showcased on the main page, Avatar became US Netflix's most popular series within 1 week, even surpassing newer shows like Dead to Me and Outer Banks. By July 2020, Avatar set a record for the service, maintaining the longest consecutive run on Netflix's daily top 10 chart. It appeared on the list for 60 straight days, while the second place holder, Ozark, had a 57-day run. Whether audiences were revisiting the series or discovering it, Avatar is truly timeless.
But I believe Aang can save the world.
Number 9. Azulas' abandoned arranged marriage. The invaluable Grey Delisle Griffin landed the role of Azula due in part to the fact that she was the only actress who didn't scream her lines while auditioning.
My own mother thought I was a monster. She was right, of course, but it still hurt.
Azula didn't need to raise her voice to sound intimidating. Delisle Griffin brought a naturally menacing presence to the character, whether she was commanding an army or flirting with an unfortunate Fire Nation boy.
You're pretty.
Together, you and I will be the strongest couple in the entire world. We will dominate the Earth!
Speaking of which, Azula was supposed to have an arranged marriage in Season 3. The creators ultimately didn't follow through on this idea, however. Although it might have offered an interesting dynamic, Azula will always be the alpha in any relationship, so we're not sure what a fiancé could have brought to the table. Azula is probably better off single.
All right, Hare, it's time to face your doom.
Number 8. The inspiration for Lake Lai.
The Earth King has invited you to Lake Lai.
I am honored to accept his invitation.
Animator San Jin Kim received a Primetime Emmy for his work on the episode Lake Lai. The titular lake appears tranquil on the surface, but underneath is a prison where people are brainwashed. Considering that Avatar was not afraid to tackle real-world issues like war and genocide, it shouldn't come as a surprise that Lake Lai was inspired by an actual Chinese labor camp system. Laogai is the shortened version of Lautung Gaizao, meaning reform through labor.
The Laogai system parallels the Nazi forced labor system in that above all the concentration camps in Nazi Germany was the sign, "Work makes free."
In the 50s and 60s, Laogai camps were common in the People's Republic of China. In addition to forced labor, brainwashing was one of the many forms of torture that prisoners could be subjected to.
There is no war within the walls. Here we are safe. Here we are free.
What was already an incredibly dark episode is suddenly given another layer of real-world horror.
Jet, the Earth King has invited you to Lake Laogai.
I am honored to accept his invitation.
Number 7. Jet's off-screen exit.
Don't worry, Katara. I'll be fine.
He's lying.
As if Lake Laogai wasn't grim enough, this was also the episode where Jet dies at the hands of Long Feng. Of course, Jet's demise isn't made immediately clear to the audience. When we last see Jet alive, he's in critical condition, and it's strongly implied that this is the end for him. Jet isn't brought up again until one of the last episodes, when Sokka points out that his fate was left unresolved.
Did Jet just die? You know, it was really unclear.
According to the creators, Nickelodeon was against showing a kid die on screen. They weren't even allowed to confirm Jet's death later in the show's run. Finally, when the third season got released on DVD, a commentary bubble clarified, quote, "For the record, Jet is dead." Toof was right. He was lying. Number 6. Sirus Saka.
Yeah! Boomerang! Aww! Boomerang!
Sometimes a performer can reshape a character's identity. Saka provided much of the show's comedic relief, but he was conceived as a far more serious figure. That all changed when Jack DeSena landed the part. Starting out as a regular on All That, DeSena brought his signature goofy edge to the character.
Why is it that every time you play with magic water, I get soaked?
This not only inspired the creators to make him Team Avatar's resident Joker, but also to expand upon his role. It was a good call. Like, could you imagine if Sokka had been a somber buzzkill?
Stop doing that stuff around me. I always get wet.
Oh, right.
This is pathetic! My jokes are way funnier than this!
DeSena has brought the same comedic timing and unexpected depth to his equally beloved role on The Dragon Prince.
Something so strangely familiar. Boomerang?
Number 5. Prince Zuko wasn't supposed to be a major character.
Zuko would have to duel his own father.
Prince Zuko is practically a Shakespearean villain when we first meet him, driven to restore his honor by capturing the Avatar.
Why don't you enjoy a cup of calming jasmine tea?
I don't need any calming tea! I need to capture the Avatar!
Over the course of 3 seasons, Zuko goes through one of the most fascinating redemption arcs in any medium. Zuko's journey is so fleshed out that it's hard to believe he was essentially a last-minute addition.
Who are you?
My name is Zuko, son of Ursa and Fire Lord Ozai, Prince of the Fire Nation and heir to the throne.
For most of the series, Fire Lord Ozai is a shadowy figure who operates from afar. Although this built up great tension for the final battle between him and Aang, it also restricted the big bad's screen time. Thus, the writers decided to put another character out in the field who would pursue the Avatar. Enter Zuko, who quickly evolved from a minor player to an essential one.
I'm going to join the Avatar, and I'm going to help him defeat you.
Number 4. Zutara Was Almost Canon.
The Fire Nation took my mother away from me.
I'm sorry. That's something we have in common.
Team Zutara or Team Katang?
It's crazy how devoted people are to, like, Aang's gonna hook up with Katara, and no, Katara's gonna hook up with Zuko.
These two ships inspired many debates among Avatar fans, but the series ultimately closes out with Aang and Katara sharing a kiss. Zutara shippers almost had it their way, however. The idea of getting Zuko and Qara together was apparently seriously considered by the show's writers. An attraction seemed to be hinted at during Season 2 when Qara offered to heal Zuko's scar in the Crystal Catacombs.
I don't know if it would work, but...
They developed a stronger bond in Season 3 as Zuko helped Qara track down her mother's murderer. The supposed love triangle between Zuko, Qara, and Aang was even alluded to in the Ember Island players.
I've had eyes for you since the day you first captured me.
In the end, though, Aang and Qara express their love, while Zuko ends up with Mai. Number 3. Toph was almost male.
Now, the moment you've all been waiting for. The Boulder versus your champion, the Blind Bandit!
Another highlight from the Ember Island players sees Toph portrayed by a hulking man.
My name's Toph, because it sounds like tough, and that's just what I am.
Wait a minute. I sound like a guy.
In the context of the show, this references Toph's commanding presence and hard-hitting nature. If you do some research, though, you'll find that this casting choice is also a clever in-joke. Early on in development, Toph was going to be a muscular male earthbender. Instead of being 12, the character was envisioned as a 16-year-old. On top of all that, the character wasn't even going to be blind.
She can't really be blind. It's just part of her character, right?
I think she is.
I think she is going down!
It was head writer Aaron Ehas's idea to make Aang's new earthbending teacher a little girl who could more than hold her own in a fight.
I am the greatest earthbender in the world! Don't you two dunderheads ever forget it!
Although co-creator Brian Konietzko was initially against this, Toph would evolve into one of his favorite characters.
I wouldn't have cast it any other way.
Number 2. Uncle Iroh was meant to betray Zuko.
Brave soldier boy comes marching home.
Following the passing of actor Mako, Greg Baldwin inherited the role of Uncle Iroh for Season 3. When Samurai Jack returned for its final season, Baldwin would also voice Aku, another role originated by Mako.
Oh, that was the old Aku. This is the new Aku.
Iroh and Aku are very different characters, one being a source of wisdom and the other being evil incarnate. These two almost had more in common than you might think, however. In the series finale, Iroh was originally supposed to backstab Zuko, revealing himself as a double agent. Iroh and his nephew shared one of the show's most heartfelt dynamics.
You are not the man you used to be, Zuko. You are stronger and wiser and freer than you have ever been. And now you have come to the crossroads of your destiny.
Had the creators followed through with this twist, it not only would have destroyed their relationship, but also Iroh's entire character arc. Fortunately, this idea did not make the cut.
How can you forgive me so easily? I thought you would be furious with me.
I was never angry with you. I was sad because I was afraid you lost your way.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions. The Cabbage Merchant was intended to be a one-off character. His misfortune became arguably the show's best running gag.
Security!
My cabbages!
Co-creator Michael Dante DiMartino is a Family Guy alumnus. He left that show to pursue Avatar.
Wow, Lois, you haven't aged a bit.
Thank you. This 12-pack of fungicide is for my daughter, Meg.
Commander Zhao was based on his voice actor, Jason Isaacs. His role in The Patriot helped inspire the character.
You know, it's an ugly business, doing one's duty. But just occasionally, it's a real pleasure.
A documentary inspired the series. Thank you, Ernest Shackleton.
I had been watching documentaries about Shackleton's crazy Antarctic expedition and ship getting caught in the ice and all these guys surviving against all odds.
There was an unaired pilot. It was first made available on DVD.
Kai, we don't have time for this.
Keep it up.
Hey, quit playing around.
I said keep it up.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Why we didn't get a Season 4.
Why are you really here?
Because you're going to tell me something. Where is my mother?
DiMartino and Konietzko decided early on to limit the series to 3 seasons. While Konietzko reportedly claims this was always the plan, Ihas tells a different tale. According to Ihas, the writers briefly considered doing a 4th season of Avatar that would have provided a redemption story for Azula. Ihas claims the idea was scrapped as the M. Night Shyamalan movie moved forward. Ironically, Shyamalan was apparently in favor of a 4th season, while the creators pushed for the live-action movie to be made.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Although we never got Season 4, Aang's story would continue in the comics, while the Avatar legacy lived on in The Legend of Korra.
I'm the Avatar! You gotta deal with it!
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.